Sometime in the 1970s, some friends of mine and I, we went to a Jethro Tull concert. And before we went, I had some hallucinogens. I had some liquid LSD. This was not some shitty acid made by a hillbilly in a trailer park, but made by a chemist in a lab. And by the time we got there, it was running through my system pretty hard. We get in the seat, and as I'm sitting there, I could feel the heartbeats of everybody around me. I could feel the heartbeats of everybody in the arena. I could feel everything. I could feel the heartbeat of everybody on the continent, on the planet. My molecules are just spreading up before my eyes as I'm watching everything in the universe just open up. And that's when the lights went out, the crowd went wild, and I saw God. If you ever seen those guys that are testing G-forces, like for fighter pilots, those guys that sit on that skid and on a some kind of track and get shot out like a rocket, that's how I was in my seat for the next 2 hours. I was just pinned back with my eyes wide open like the Clockwork Orange guy and getting the treatment, because I was getting the Jethro Tull treatment, and it was just penetrating through my skull. It was an unbelievable experience to be tripping hard on LSD at a Jethro Tull concert. But I tell you what, shockingly, the show was amazing. The show was amazing. The sound, the visual. I mean, if you didn't see Ian Anderson live, I don't even know what to tell you, man. He just had a commanding presence. There was no doubt who was in charge up there. There was no doubt who were the stars, Martin on guitar. One of the most underrated guitar players of all time, hands down. But Ian Anderson is the front man. He was just unbelievable. At one point during the show, they had the strobe lights running. Ian Anderson was in a white lab coat, come running out there, and they had a bunch of stagehand in white lab coats too. Looked like there was hundreds of them running around the stage. When your mind is melting and you're connected to the universe, you're watching that kind of thing. It was a mind-blowing experience. For me, growing up, if you were a Jethro Tull fan, you were like part of a cult. Like the Jethro Tull guys, like we're all in this little group over there, and with Yes and the other progressive bands. And one thing that I knew or suspected about going to a Jethro Tull concert, and I wouldn't be seeing a lot of titties. When you're a young guy into rock concerts, that's something that's really important to you. It was a lot of dudes at the Tull shows, and that's just what it was, but what a great band. And, talk about a band that is absolutely deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. Jethro Tull, my God. What a unique band. Who has got the balls to pick up a flute, go down stage center, and say, I'm leading a rock band? Come on. Ian Anderson. He was just incredible. About a dozen years ago or so, a friend of mine was on tour with, who's that guy? Mata Hoople. What is his name? Ian Hunter. And they were opening up for Jethro Tull. They were down in Florida, and he gave me second row seats. And because I'm a total douchebag, I did not go. I met him up at the hotel later, and we hung out and smoked reefer in the parking lot. And looking back, I regret not going. But I know it's hard to believe that anyone would turn down second row seats to a Jethro Tull show, especially a classic rock fan like myself. But you got to appreciate too show burnout. And at that point, I had a lot of burnout, and I was certainly not interested in seeing any concert anywhere at any distance for any price. I have friends that toured the world with Jethro Tull, and hopefully someday they'll come on my channel and tell their stories, because I know they got them. I never got the chance to work with them, and that's okay. It's what it is. I was a fan, wasn't a huge fan, but a fan nonetheless. And they were certainly deserving to be in the Mistake on the Lake in Cleveland, Ohio.